this is going to turn out being an objectionable thing to the employee and wind up in a legal claim. I want to move on to the second part of,
and that's fair
of what
enough.
we saw.
I agree with that. Nobody should have to be clairvoyant. On the other hand, she did indicate that she needed to work more hours to take care of all
I know,
the
you said that. I only have limited time, so I don't want to double back over ground we covered.
No,
and here's the second thing. The other thing that we watched last night, I want to move on to this next point because it's important. The other thing we saw last week was you with the big letter that came from the Social Security Administration to the Whitman family addressing the fact that there was a problem with the paperwork, and then Meg Whitman's husband handwritten notation on it that said, Nikki, please look into this. You later came out and said, so you unveiled the claims that she had mistreated the maid. And then Meg Whitman came out and said, I don't know anything about that letter. We didn't get that letter. And then you waited until then to come out with the letter. So it looked a little like a political sandbag. Why didn't you just bring that letter out the first time and say, they got this letter? You waited for her to deny it, almost as if you have a political agenda and were setting her up, Gloria.
Well, I actually thought that I was being extra nice in the first news conference when I was asked for evidence about the letter. That I gave actually some notice to Meg Whitman by saying the specific date of the letter, and also telling the press, who probably went back and told Meg Whitman that if she denied it, then I would produce the evidence, which I did. I don't usually give that kind of heads-up advance notice to people.
You know, and we saw the letter, and it's an interesting part of the case, but legally, what relevance does it have? Because I want to ask you this. You know, the letter doesn't say you've got an illegal working in your house. It says, you know, there's not a match on the documents. And the reason for that is because your client lied to the government. She used her sister's driver's license and her sister's Social Security card, and she lied under penalty of perjury. She lied under oath to the government about her legal status. So there was a red flag raised, and they asked Meg Whitman to follow up on it. But, Gloria, as you know, legally, she had no obligation to follow up on that letter. And if she had questioned her maid, Nikki Diaz, about her legal status after Nikki had provided her with a driver's license and a Social Security number and asserted under the penalty of perjuries that she was in this country legally, Meg Whitman could have been subject to a discrimination violation.
Well, I totally disagree with you.
No, that's a fact. There's no disagreeing with that.
Well,
that is a fact. That is a factual statement of the law.
Okay. Well, may I just complete my sentence,
sure,
please? I totally disagree with you, Megyn, that Meg Whitman and Dr. Harsh had no obligation to do anything once they received that letter.
Okay, let me just quote. Let me quote Jenny Leo. Let me quote Jenny Leo, and then I will let you respond. I promise. Because the viewers, I'm going to give you the floor. I swear I'm going to give you the floor, but I just want our viewers to know where I'm getting this from. Jenny Leo, a labor and employment attorney at the National Immigration Law Center in L.A., which defends immigrants in these cases. Quote, this is in the San Francisco Chronicle, there is no additional legal obligation for an employer to follow up or respond to the Social Security information or Social Security Administration with new information. And then more from the American Immigration Lawyers Association in Washington. Quote, not only is accepting the documents that the illegal would then provide all the law required her to do, but there is a counterbalancing anti-discrimination law that keeps her, meaning Whitman, from probing further or demanding different documents. You go.
The answer is very simple. Anyone who looks at the letter will see what the government instructs the employer to whom that letter is sent to do. And number 5 says that the employer must fill it out and return it to the government, to Social Security. That was not done. Obviously, it wasn't done by Dr. Harsh or Meg Whitman because they denied ever receiving it. So they did not follow the very, very clear instructions on the letter. I don't care what anybody else's legal opinion is. All you have to do is read the letter.
But the letter has nothing to do with your legal case.
What the employer has to do.
The letter has nothing to do with your legal. Your legal case is about her being underpaid and not getting past mileage. So your focus on this letter, which these other legal experts say does not in any way indict what Meg Whitman did, your focus on it is what leads so many to believe this is about politics for Gloria. It's not about the law.
By the way, if the government didn't want any response or didn't care if there was any response, I wonder why it says return it in the enclosed envelope. But in any event, let me just address your other point. Look, we're not filing a lawsuit over this. We never said we are filing a lawsuit. This is about Meg Whitman, her hypocrisy, her saying that employers should be held accountable for hiring undocumented workers. Where is her accountability? Where is she taking responsibility? And it's about the fact that she denied ever receiving the letter from Social Security, which puts her on notice that there is a mismatch in the Social Security numbers. And a mismatch, by the way, is often a tip-off that an employer is hiring an undocumented person.
Well, I'll leave it. I got to go, Gloria, because I'm up against the break. But I will leave it to our viewers to sum up whether what you just outlined is a legal complaint or a political one. Gloria, thank you so much for coming on. All the best to you.
Thank you, Megyn.